The two portions we will read this coming Shabbat, Mattot-Masei, conclude the book of Bamidbar with a summary of the 40 years of wandering in the desert. Every year, these verses are read in the midst of the 3 weeks between 17th day of Tammuz and Tisha B'Av, and this year it will be right before the beginning of the month of Av. Interestingly, Av, or the 5th month as it is called in the Bible, is specifically mentioned in one of them. And so we read, Aharon the priest ascended Mount Hor at God's command and died there in the 40th year after the Israelites have left the land of Egypt on the 1st day of the 5th month. Although we already read about the death of Aharon a Kohen in Parashat Chukat a few weeks ago, the date of his death is only mentioned here, and it turns out that it is Rosh Chodesh Av. By the way, this is the only time in the entire Torah that the 5th month is mentioned. Also, Aharon is the only person in the entire Torah whose death date is given to us. Two questions arise from this verse. One, why does Aharon's death day receive so much attention? And the second, why on this date? Let's start with Aharon. The sages say that Aharon was a lover of peace and pursuer of peace in Masechet Avot. He knew how to resolve conflicts between a person and his friend and between man and his wife. That is why, at his death, it is said, and all the house of Israel wept for Aharon 30 days, while with Moshe it says, and the children of Israel wept for Moshe in the desert of Moab for 30 days. Aharon was a leader connected to the people, while Moshe was more distant. And what about the month of Av? We are used to think of this month as a month of mourning and calamity. Mishenichnas Av mema'atin b'simcha. When the month of Av begins, one decreases rejoicing, states the Mishnah in Tractate Ta'anit. During the first 9 days of the month, mourning customs should be followed. Most people avoid holding happy events, some do not cut their hair and don't wear new clothes, and some don't eat meat on these days. The reason is, of course, the destruction of the temple, and it is worth noting that throughout Jewish history, other disasters occurred during this period. For example, the expulsion from Spain or the outbreak of the First World War. But not all of Av is about mourning and disaster. Later on, in the same Mishnah, it says that there were no good days for Israel as the 15th day of Av and Yom Kippur. The prophet Zechariah says, "Thus said the Lord, the fast of the 4th and the fast of the 5th shall become times of joy and gladness and cheerful feasts to the house of Yehudah, but you must love truth and peace." Here, in my opinion, the connection between the month of Av and the figure of Aharon is revealed. The love of truth and peace. This is the condition for turning mourning into joy. Truth and peace are two values that often conflict, but the one who knows how to combine both is the worthy leader who could bring redemption. May this month and the painful days we are subjected to be blessed and become for us times of joy and gladness. Shavua Tov from Schechter.